This week carries a quieter kind of momentum, not the kind that demands immediate action, but the kind that unfolds through reflection, recalibration, and a gradual realignment. We're moving out of the emotional peak of the Cancer full moon and into the waning phase that asks us not to rush towards resolution, but to notice what's settling and what no longer needs to be held in the same way. Welcome back to Libra Rising, where guidance from the stars meets reflections for the soul. Let's take a look at the astro weather for the week ahead. We begin the week under the lingering influence of the Cancer full moon. Cancer governs emotional truth, memory, safety, and belonging. And in the days following this lunation, there's often a softening that takes place. What may have felt heavy or raw begins to settle. Emotions become clearer, not because they've been solved, but because they're no longer demanding immediate attention. This is a moment of emotional integration, where acknowledgement matters more than action. As the moon wanes, the energy shifts into Sagittarius territory. Sagittarius invites big-picture thinking, meaning-making, and honest inquiry. Questions about direction, belief, and purpose may rise naturally this week. But this isn't about broadcasting conclusions. It's about allowing insight to form quietly, letting understanding evolve without pressure to define the next chapter before it's ready. If something wants to be revised, reimagined, or reconsidered, this phase supports that pause. Reflection is not stagnation here, it's preparation. Toward the end of the week, we reach a subtle but powerful turning point as Mars meets the Sun in Capricorn in a Cazimi. Mars represents drive, motivation, and action. Capricorn brings structure, responsibility, and long-term vision. Together, they offer clean clarity, not impulsive momentum, but grounded awareness of what's worth sustained effort. This is energy that says, I know what I'm building, and I'm ready to take the next grounded step. For this last quarter moon, I asked the tarot to reflect the quiet work of this phase. What's ready to be released? What can now be received? And what's meant to be remembered without being relived? The Page of Cups reversed invites us to release unnecessary emotional engagement. This card doesn't ask us to become less sensitive. It asks us to become more discerning. Where have you been responding to situations that repeatedly trigger emotional reactivity, confusion, or self-doubt? Releasing here doesn't mean shutting down. It means choosing not to pour energy into spaces that can't receive it with care. This is emotional maturity, protecting your inner waters without hardening your heart. In the position of receiving, the Fool reversed offers the gift of patience. Rather than urging a leap of faith, this card invites us to receive the wisdom of looking before you leap. There's value in slowing down, gathering information, and allowing clarity to form before committing your energy. Receiving doesn't always look like movement. Sometimes it looks like restraint, trusting that discernment is forward progress. The Five of Cups reversed asks us to remember differently. Past disappointments and losses may still echo, but this card reminds us that the lesson doesn't require the pain to stay active. Here, remembrance is about integration, honoring what the experience has taught you without reopening old wounds. Remember the insight, remember the growth, but release the emotional weight that no longer serves. Perspective is the healing here. Together, these cards trace a gentle but powerful arc. Release emotional entanglements that drain rather than nourish. Receive the steadiness that comes from patience and discernment. And remember the wisdom earned through loss without reliving the hurt. This is not a week of erasing the past or forcing the future. This is a week of carrying forward what has already made you wiser. Before we move into the reflection questions and mantra for the week, I'd like to share my own reflections on these energies from the perspective of a highly sensitive soul. This week for me unfolded before the Cancer full moon, in that liminal space where effort meets exhaustion and growth is followed by a quieter kind of integration rather than adrenaline. I stretched beyond my comfort zone at the end of last week, not in a way that demanded force, but in a way that required trust. And what surprised me wasn't just the confidence that came along from doing something challenging. It was the hope that emerged from doing that challenge alongside others. I'm learning to relate to people differently lately, not as someone defined by illness, not as a patient, not as a diagnosis or a list of symptoms to be managed, but as a fellow explorer, a creator, a community member, and maybe, in time, a friend. There's been a quiet release happening in me. Release of the belief that I am sick. I have been sick in the past, that's true. But I'm remembering now that I'm so much more than a condition, more than a label, more than a chapter that once required care and deep intervention. As I explore more empowered ways of healing, this week feels like an invitation not to push forward, but to pause, and to reflect on how far I've already come. There's a humility in noticing that real repair doesn't always feel energizing. Sometimes it feels like fatigue. Sometimes it feels like stillness. Sometimes it feels like the body quietly rebuilding what was once broken down for survival's sake. And instead of resisting that rhythm, I'm beginning to trust it. This feels like a subtle alignment with my body, with timing, and with life on life's terms. Not dramatic, not triumphant, but steady and consistent. And that, for me, feels like something very real and very good. As you move through this week, consider gently asking yourself the following as prompts for journaling or exploration during meditation. First, what feels lighter than it did a few weeks ago? Next, where am I being invited to pause rather than push? And what clarity emerges when I stop trying to force momentum? You don't need to solve these questions. Just ask and notice what responds. As an anchor to help ground for the week, consider carrying the following mantra with you. I release fear that I am falling behind, and I hold faith that my direction will clarify in its own time. As this week unfolds, remember that reorientation doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it arrives quietly, through steadier emotions, clearer priorities, and a renewed trust in timing. Thank you for spending this time with me here on Libra Rising. If these energies resonated, I'd love to hear how they're showing up for you. Feel free to share in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with the latest videos here on Libra Rising. Until next time, may your release be gentle, may your clarity feel grounded, and may your path ahead reveal itself one steady step at a time.